RTD Live Talk, Detroit's number one midday YouTube talk show. We are live for another live stream. Excited to be back. Excited to be behind the mic and the camera. Looking forward to finding out what's going on in your world. And more importantly, letting your voice be heard. And so let's dive right in. So as always, for those tuning in, any new viewers out there, feel free to let us know where you're watching from. Would love to acknowledge your presence and thank you for being a part of the community. Let me know via chat or when the phone lines are open, give me a call, 313-462-0027. Would love to hear from you and find out what's going on in your neck of the woods. Of course, a lot of stories worth touching on. I have about maybe 5 or 6 different articles here. We can skim the surface and then I'll share my 2 cents on it. But then I'm also curious to hear about what's in your world as well. So feel free, let me know. And let me check in via chat real quick. And then I'll jump into the articles and then we'll make it work. Macedon, we got Barlight Broker, we got Iman. We got low blood pressure in the building. We got Dude Boy. Okay. What else we got here? LBP. Let me see here. We got Jim Diggs. We got Jay. Barlight Broker. Okay, John. Appreciate you from Minneapolis tuning in. BC Matrix in the building. All right. So a fair amount of people here. Appreciate you guys for jumping on board and joining in. And once again, it's no talk show unless you have someone to talk to. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys and getting a chance to hear what else is happening out there that we may not have heard about or things we need to hear about. So let me do a little house maintenance first on my end, and then we'll jump right into it. All right. So let me do some typical house cleaning. All right, so for those who want to stay in touch with RTD during the day, articles go up on rethinkingthedollar.com. Feel free to check in from there throughout the day, and you'll be up to date on what's happening, silver, gold, cryptos, you name it. And so it's a good way to stay in touch with us. And always, it's the home site of all this. So if there's ever any disconnections on the social media sphere, always go to rethinkingthedollar.com. And then also looking tomorrow night to have a Patreon hangout. So for those that want to hang out off air, consider being a blessing to the community by becoming a Patreon member, and you can hang out with us live on air and get a chance to let your voice be heard off air. And then make sure you guys connect with us social media wise. Social media tag beneath this video here has every single outlet where RTD can be found at. And of course, right now, primarily is Discord. So you can click the Discord community page, share articles, share videos, you name it. All the articles I'm going to share tonight, I grabbed from the Discord from you guys, the community. So that's the best way to let your voice be heard, and then we can talk about it. And so just click the Discord tab, and then you'll get an invite here. There's about 20 people online now, 187 members there. And we'll be there until Microsoft completes the acquisition of Discord. And of course, we'll probably stop and go to Telegram. So just as a heads up, something for you guys to be aware of. Okay, fair enough. Now, let's dive into the nitty gritty of everything. And so what else? We got a lot of things to talk about. Of course, markets start off in the red today. A lot of margin calls. We got hedge funds basically just being liquidated. What else we got? We got the Suez Canal. I guess it's been freed up finally. However, it got clogged up. We have what else? Of course, crypto news. We got silver squeeze is still underway. You name it, it's happening right now. So we're living in the most exciting times in human history because we all have a front row seat as to this global economic restructuring. And then also the Latin American nations had a United Nations gathering today via virtual. So I had a chance to listen to Maduro and the Argentinian president talk about the need for ultimately a global reset or debt jubilee. And the need for I forgot the word they use, is a global liquidity, something or another. But basically, they're calling on the SDRs, special drawing rights, the IMF. And so these poor nations here that are heavily saturated in debt, they can't make their bills. And so they're calling on a new form of liquidity in the form of SDRs from the IMF. And of course, it's coming. And so that's a part of their overall agenda. And of course, remember, what's his name? Jim Rickards mentioned, the SDR drawing rights is going to be used no matter what. So it's already in the pipeline. And as more of the system is clogged up, we're witnessing the derivatives implosion with these hedge funds. We got banks that's on the hook for billions upon billions, i.e. trillions of debt instruments that's going belly up now. So things about to get real interesting this week and beyond, especially heading into summertime. And you got the mainstream media pumping in more fear like never before. The CDC, chairwoman came out saying that she's getting all emotional, saying that the cases are spiking and it's going to get bad this summer. Okay. So yeah, I can go on and on and on, but let me dive into some headlines real quickly. And then I'll open the telephone so I can hear from you guys. And so these are some stories. As I mentioned, I grabbed these from the Discord page. So if you guys want to, contribute to these type of discussions, whether it be calling in or in chat or have your articles pulled, just put them in the Discord page and we can jump on them. Okay, so here's something that's very interesting that is getting no mainstream attention. It's what's happening in New York. So all my people in New York, I definitely want to hear from you guys because I think the heavily ran down Democratic states, i.e. California, is going to be the one for the universal basic allowance is being rolled out in San Francisco and Oakland right now. And then on the East Coast in New York. And of course, Michigan is somewhere in between there, but I haven't heard nothing on my end. But New York, these blockchain powered passports, as you guys can see on the screen here, they're already implemented. They're already up and rolling. And I actually posted an actual chat in the Discord last night from an Instagrammer that I follow who's very, ears to the ground, keeping us informed of what's going on in the streets. And so it's actually an interview of a friend of his that's actually being held hostage inside of an NYC hotel because he refused to comply with the whole tracking, tracing stuff that's been done to him. He tested supposedly positive, but yet completely fine. They won't let him leave the hospital, and they escorted him via police to the hotel, and he's stuck in there for another 2 weeks or a week and a half or something like that. Very sad story, but it's something that's not being talked about in the mainstream media, of course, because they want to, continue to tell us that everyone needs to get tested so they can get tracked, so they can get tagged, in a sense. But anyway, New York Governor Cuomo launches a blockchain-powered passport. And so I'll give you an idea what's going on here. I've actually talked about this several months ago, but it's back in the headlines. IBM's blockchain-powered digital health pass, which enables users' identity, vaccination history, and test results to be verified and securely shared without revealing unrelated personal information. So once again, the blockchain, as I always mentioned before, it was sold to us as being a way to free us, but yet it's going to be used to enslave us even more. And so once again, vaccination history, your test results, all that stuff, share it without revealing your personal information. Right. If that really matters at this point, given the fact that the global agenda is pretty much in full swing, and it appears to be on the surface that they, meaning they that are orchestrating this, they seem to be one step ahead or winning this transition while they're keeping us distracted by, all the, sports. You got the Elite Eight, you got University of Michigan, all that other crap. Who cares? But anyway, I can go on and on. Let me know your thoughts on this. Now, President Trump, before he left office, he opened up the window of this whole year of the UFO. So Donald Trump ordered a report into alien phenomena to be released. So this upcoming June, the government is going to spill the beans on UFO, unidentified objects, as well as all the extraterrestrial stuff that's out there. And of course, my personal opinion is that it's a major distraction to continue to keep us all over the place and living in fear. And of course, at the end of the day, I think this is just a demonic, heavily demonic agenda that's going on right now in front of us. And so my personal opinion from a spiritual standpoint, because I love to talk about my faith here, is that, of course, fallen angels. What better way to deceive the people than to present them as being some type of extraterrestrial being? But in actuality, it's Satan doing his bag of tricks, trying to deceive the world the way that, he has a short window of time to operate as well. So, but yet don't be deceived, people. Stay strong in your faith for those that are awake and aware. All right. So let me know your thoughts on the whole UFO situation. I'm curious to find out, what are you expecting to hear come June when they open up the X-Files? Okay, here we go. Something interesting. This was shared in Discord as well over the weekend. San Francisco to pay artists $1,000 per month in economic relief. So once again, didn't get a chance to dive into this, but I'm not sure how they classify artists. So I'm not sure if it's actual musicians, painters, or whatever. But it's one of those things where don't be surprised as they try to. It's going to basically boil down. They're going to make this a racial issue. They're going to use the green, i.e., paper currency, the green, to divide the white and the blacks. To make it a social/racial divide. Low income, middle income, high income earners. Everybody's about to get pissed off at the amount of paper that this next phase 1 and phase 2 of this next infrastructure plan, New Deal, and all this other stuff that's coming apparently in April is going to, the more chaos is going to provide, further impoverishing the world. So give you an idea what's going on here. It says, I'll spare you guys the headache. It says an artist is someone who is actively engage with the community through music, dance, creative writing, visual art, performing art, installation, photography, theater, or film. And so if you fit that category, if you're in San Francisco, you get an extra G a month, it looks like. So interesting. Okay, here's another one. New universal basic income program in Oakland, California excludes low income white families. So I would imagine those that have not contributed to society in the form of paying taxes or whatnot due to their social and economic status, given to the fact that the public school system has robbed us all of a quality education, as well as opportunity to actually be able to earn and retain our hard work and efforts. And so now they're looking to further create more of a welfare state beyond what they've done already since the Great New Deal in the late 60s. But has launched a universal basic income program providing low-income families $500 per month with absolutely no strings attached regarding how they must spend it. So, yeah, not quite sure how this will fare out. But for those that are awake and aware, $500 not going to change your life at all. So the best thing you could do is put it to work for you by some type of entrepreneurial venture, or worst case scenario, get your weight up. Or for those that might say, there's a lot of cryptocurrency projects out there that will probably do well in this extremely inflated markets, but that's just my 2 cents. Here's another one. More than 75% of U.S. adults express concerns about inflation. And so this is going to be a very interesting one. How concerned are you right now about inflation in the U.S.? 6% says, I'm not sure. 42% says very concerned. 35% says somewhat. And then it gives you an idea of the age breakdown. It says, how concerned are you right now about inflation in the U.S. by age? So 18 to 24, 52% are very concerned. And for my 35 and 54, which is my age category, about 48%. A good portion of people are concerned. And it's more so just consumer goods of everything you need to put food on your table, and energy, and you name it, is into that equation there. All right, a couple more articles here, then I'll dial back and let you guys share your 2 cents. And so he says, these banking giants are headed to major losses after Archegos debacle. And so, of course, this hedge fund, as of today, some margin call, they were liquidated by some of the big banks that are also on the hook for all this debt that's been created over the last umpteen years. It's due now. And so there's going to be a daisy chain of events in the credit market. Ultimately, there's going to be a lot of margin calls. A lot of people expect to come up with funds that's not there. So the Federal Reserve will have to step in pretty soon, because they will not be able to get through this week without there being more dominoes falling, impacting more of the too big to fail banks. And so I saw that a lot of the globally systemic important banks, their stock prices were down today because of their interconnectedness to this derivative Ponzi scheme that's been going on for quite some time now, and it's starting to get a little clogged up in the piping system. So expect more stuff to unwind. And it says here, billions in secret derivatives at the center of the Archegos, from saying that correctly, at their blow up. So billions, which of course probably realistically is going to be in the trillions at the end of the day. Said the forced liquidation of more than 20 billion in holdings linked to Bill Duong's investment firm is drawing attention to the covert financial instruments he used to build large stakes in companies. So using funds is not yours, can come back to haunt you. But keep it moving. CDC will extend national eviction ban through June 30th. So for all my landlords out there not getting compensated for tenants living in your properties, I feel for you. And once again, the money will not be repaid. So figuring a way around that will be your best way to do that. And of course, I've saw a lot of people out there being very creative as to how they're trying to incentivize their tenants to come up with some of those funds, because right now we're at over a year of funds that's compounding. And Uncle Sam, of course, cannot foot the bill for much longer for those that are getting compensated. So it's going to be very interesting. But here's a little facing eviction chart here. And in my great state here of Michigan, it's 40% as of right now. It says renter households unable to pay rent and at risk of eviction as a share of total renter households. So it's 40% in Michigan, 30%, 37% in California. And the highest looks like it's around West Virginia, might be leading the way with 59% of renters not able to pay and on the hook of being evicted. So Very sad days are currently underway. Okay. Biden eyes tax hikes to pay for the economic agenda. We got the $3 trillion that's on the discussion table right now. And give you an idea of what's going on in there, here's something I thought was worthwhile. So it's going to be broken down into two phases accordingly. So it said, here's a spending plan proposal part one. I'll zoom in so you guys can see. And this is just a tentative talk as to what they're going to try to roll out. But we got $1 trillion for roads, bridges, rail lines, etc. $400 billion to combat climate change, $200 billion for housing infrastructure, $100 billion to expand housing for low-income Americans. We've had a homelessness crisis in this country for the last 3-4 years, and it's been ramping up even more so. So I'm not sure what this $100 billion is going to do, but further enslave Uncle Sam. But that's what this is all about. And the next one here is to be unveiled on Wednesday. $100 billion for schools infrastructure, $60 billion for the green transit infrastructure, $46 billion for more climate-related research. So very interesting. But this is what's going on. I got a couple more articles, but I'll dial back. So let's open up the phone lines. I'm curious to hear what's going on in your neck of the woods. Let me know what you guys want to touch on. Any of these subject matters, feel free to touch on. We can do that. Or whatever else. So the phone lines are open. Let's talk. Give me a call, 313-462-0027. I want to try to get as many calls, get as much interaction as I can. So let me know. And then I'll check in via chat real quick and see what's going on. So I see some crypto talk out there. Got my silver maple leafs. Oh, yeah. It's Get Your Weight Up Monday. Hopefully you guys have done such. Let's see if we can get a call here. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Mike. This is Casey from Fort Worth, Texas.
Casey from Fort Worth, Texas. How you doing, my man? What's on your mind this afternoon or early evening?
Actually, last time I tried calling you, or last time I did call you, we were talking about the UFO extraterrestrials, and my line got cut off, and I tried to call back, and I honestly I thought it was kind of weird. It turned out it was just a bunch of storm clouds outside, and it was bad connection.
Yeah, man. But here we go. Go ahead.
I would love to pick up where I left off, and is it okay if I have a minute?
If you give me a quick minute so I can get as much as I can in. So feel free to share your 2 cents on it and what you're expecting this summer.
All right. Well, I guess you say you go to the origins. If you go to Genesis 6, It talks about how the fallen angels were interbreeding with the women of the earth, and the Nephilim were the genetic hybrids.
Yep.
And God did not like it, and that's one of the reasons why he fled the earth. And it says right there in Genesis 6, verse 9, that Noah's genetics were perfect, and that's why God preserved Noah. Well, one of the reasons why God preserved Noah. And anyways, they've been here ever since. And if you look at Satan, it talks about him being the serpent and the devil and a dragon, and one of the races of aliens is a reptile alien. And a lot of people think that's crazy and far-fetched, but it's true. And
yeah,
I know in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 40, it talks about celestial beings. And in Jude 1, it talks about celestial beings. And also says that they're wandering stars. You see UFO flying around at night.
Yeah.
And in Zechariah 5, verse 12, it says that he saw a flying roll that was 30 feet long, 15 feet wide. And and also in the book of Job, it talks about the Pleiades. There's there's a lot of stuff that talks about aliens, and they are the fallen angels. Yeah. And and a lot of people are going to go to hell because they think that they're gods, and they're going to worship whatever their false religion is. And we gotta, as Christians, the fact of the matter is the occult has the monopoly on this, and as Christians, we need to brush up on it, and we need to preach the truth, because it's going to send one person after another to hell.
Hey, 100%, man. Thank you for sharing those scriptures, my man. I definitely am on board with you. I appreciate your insights. Thanks for calling in.
No problem.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that is some good stuff, man. Deception. I mean, of course, the deceiver. I mean, he comes to steal, kill, and destroy by any means necessary. And what this shows to me, and of course, let me go ahead and pull something up. Nike coming out with the Satan shoe. Come on now. How obvious can it be how they're promoting satanic worship? They're promoting demonic forces right now, and it's everywhere. It's here's the biggest thing. Like, I remember, and just from biblical references, how at the time of Jesus, especially during the Gospels, there were demonic filled people everywhere. And of course, the casting out of demons was something that's very common according to the scripture during that time frame. What happened to all those demonic forces that were present during that time frame? They're still prevalent now. They're still here. My personal opinion is that Wall Street and Washington, D.C. and Hollywood, those three places there are they're the financial capital, they're political capital, and they're the entertainment capital of the planet for the most part. And those three places there are just, oh my goodness, everybody. In order to play in those three entities there, you gotta do some things that definitely compromises your soul and your integrity. You know what I'm saying? People have sold their soul for the devil, and hey, do what you do. But yeah, so Wall Street, DC, Hollywood, places that yeah, anyway, I can go on and on. But anyway, feel free to give me a call. It's your voice. Let it be heard today. I want to hear from you guys. What else we got here? I see in the chat. I see some talk about getting your weight up here. I love talk about scriptures. Lawrence Franklin, I do as well, my friend. I do as well. The Great Delusion. Very true, Ash. Says my LC local coin store says rounds junk, HC, Britannicas, Maple Leafs, Koalas, a few bars. So yeah, let me know what you guys are seeing in the streets when it's time for you to get your weight up. What are your local dealers talking about these days? Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Mike, it's Barlight Broker from the internet.
Barlight Broker, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing excellent, my friend. I had a quick thought.
Go ahead, give it to me.
Have you noticed they're like pretty much guarding these damn vaccines like they're the Hope Diamonds?
Yeah, that, and they're still pumping testing. Like I'm wondering, like, why I drove past a line today, wrapped around a corner of people going to get tested. I'm thinking, like, if you got to go get tested for something that's supposed to be the most deadliest thing of all times, then something should tell you something's wrong right there. But anyway.
These people, man, I feel like I'm surrounded by a bunch of sheep. They are brainwashed, and they really believe this 100%.
Yeah, but the thing, like, it's the social media. Like, so I got 12 attorney generals out here talking about the need to get rid of social media that tells people other words, that promotes misinformation and all stuff like that. So people are being bombarded with all types of lies that they don't know anything else other than that. They're not allowed to question or to think for themselves. You'll be labeled as a conspiracy theorist. But at this current moment, everybody realizes conspiracies are actually factual in a sense. So yeah, the sheeple people are still asleep, man. But hey, what can we do about it?
I went to the DMV last week to get my license plates renewed, and I didn't wear a mask in there for probably 10 minutes. And then the guy came to me and said, "Hey, where's your mask at?" And I said, I don't need one. And he said, "Oh, no, you have to have one." And I said that I had a medical restriction, and he said I could come back next week and he would get my stuff. And I was like 2 people away. I told him that, it was against the American Disabilities Act for him to force me to wear a mask. And one of the guys that was next to me in the line under his breath said, "No, it's not." And then I asked the guy, I said, "Okay, if you have a mask, I'll wear it just so I can get out of here." Yeah. And then he started walking away. And, man, I just about took off when that dude said that. Yeah. I'm not even going to tell you what I told him. Let's just say that it didn't be more threatening and intimidating than what it was. Basically, he didn't take his eyes off of me the rest of the time. I really just wanted to take his head off. But, you gotta pick what you hill to die on,
Yeah. Hey, man, I appreciate you calling and sharing your story, man. Thanks.
No problem, Mike. Thanks.
Be good. Yep. Yeah, man. Good stuff. Let me hear some from you guys. Give me a call. All right. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Mike, this is Chris from LA in the UK.
Chris from UK and LA. All right, my man. What's going on? Give me the word on the streets in your neck of the woods.
I just want to add to what one of the other callers was talking about when it came to the fallen angels. I think everybody should look into the book of Enoch. I've read a bunch of the different books that are missing outside the Bible. They took out the book of Enoch because I think it was an agenda. Because if you really read the book and you really understand what's going on, basically you would know who's really running the planet. Yeah, because it's all in there. So the book of Enoch even talks about the angels that were casted down from heaven. when it came to fallen angels. He even gives the names of the actual angels. So I think everybody needs to look into that.
Okay.
But I wanted your opinion about the cryptocurrencies that have partnerships. I wanted to see what you thought about those. Like, of course, we know XRP and Stellar.
Yeah.
I like H-Bar, but I want to get your opinion about what do you think are the ones that actually have partnerships and the ones that are actually working with the IMF and actual banks.
Ah, man, great question, man. My personal opinion, the more that's revealed about this whole blockchain, cryptocurrency, digital revelation push, all these partnerships, man, are not surprising. The technology is unique in there. Technology is a game changer. Problem is, all these projects have focal points in the form of boards and creators and presidents and CEOs, and they're operating like companies. And so that's obviously going to be the future. Everything's going to be tokenized. Everything's going to be on some ledger somewhere. So I'm very concerned with the governmental / private entities that are in charge now. IBM with this digital health pass. Okay, so the government's going to partner with them to further enslave us by this passport crap. Then you're going to have all the other entities that's going to partner with the government to further enslave us. So I'm not excited about these privatized blockchain companies partnering up with governments to basically orchestrate in that one world type of approach, man. So it doesn't excite me whatsoever. I'm not one that's overly excited about profiting on this transition either, just because the more we sit around and worry about, and get excited about gains, my crypto portfolio is booming, but yet you can't lead a country. You can't, do all these typical things you're used to doing. Exactly. What are you really gaining? You know what I'm saying? How rich can you become when you can't lead your own state, or you become a health risk because you're not participating? And so you see what I'm saying? It's that trade-off. I don't care about the the profits being given in the crypto space, just because, hell, exactly. My freedom is a lot more important. I think if people really knew what was at stake, they wouldn't be so distracted about, Bitcoin going to the moon. You know what I'm saying? What difference does it make if you can enjoy your life the way you want to? But if you're not questioning the health side, if you're okay with joining in the government schemes and all this other stuff, sure, take your profits and go get tagged as well. But yet, once again, the depopulation is still underway. And by 2025, according to sources out there, we're gonna be at 1/3 of the current population. How are we gonna get there? Unless it's gonna be something they put into our bodies, supposedly. So That's my 2 cents, man.
But I think a lot of people are in fear. So I think what happens is people trade their liberties and their freedoms for security. And that's what the problem is. Most people will give up their freedoms just to feel like they're safe. And the thing is, most of the things that is going on has been engineered and has been orchestrated. So they cause the problem. They wait till we react to it and we volunteer, and then they give us the same solution that they wanted in the first place. So I think most of us we trade off our freedoms just to have a sense of security, which I think is a problem.
Right. And
there's not enough people that are woke and that think the same way. Most people are kind of dumbed down and they think that everybody's a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
If you tell them too much truth, you've been lied to so often that they think it's a conspiracy theory.
Right.
So the question is, what do we do at this point? If you're a Christian, you know what the book says. You know the ending. You know that we win in the end.
Right.
But you still have to live this life. So what do we do if we know that there's going to be some form of vaccination tracking? We know that it has nanotechnology in it. We know all these things. But what do we do about it at this point? And that's the question that I have for people.
Right.
What do we do about it? We know the information now. How do we put it into action? Because what good is faith without works?
Right. Good point. And that's where I personally look at it as, A, pray for wisdom and guidance from the Holy Spirit. B, continue to let your voice be heard while you still have the ability to speak freely. And then B, literally resist personally in any way you can while you can. And the rest, leave it up to God. I mean, so that's pretty much all we can do. Like, it's one thing to worry, and it's another thing to walk with a sense of confidence that you're on the winning team, regardless of, and once again, like this life is temporary, so we're not called to be here forever. We called as a believer to really literally preach the good news and to help as many people come into the realization of who Jesus Christ is as our savior for the next life. So, it's not ideal. It's not what we want to hear, but we're not designed to live in this current body form the way we are now for forever. And as a part of our faith, we're going to be tried, we're going to be tested. And of course, those that believe might be even asked to give their life for their belief. And so that's kind of where we stand at, man, for me personally.
If people can't resist, it's something as simple as wearing a mask. And how are you going to resist the mark?
Very good point. And that's why I think there will be a lot of people.
Today, that's exactly what the guy was like. You got to put your mask, because I have it halfway, I have it on my chin or whatever. I'm not going to comply.
Right.
He was like, you need to pull your mask up, and I was like, okay. And I pulled it up and I took it right back down as soon as you walked away.
Yeah.
And, I think it's ridiculous. And it's funny because if people really looked into it, the mortality rate for all this is only like 2%.
Mm-hmm.
So you should never give up your liberty and not think logically about it. Like
right.
You think about the fact that something is 2%, but emotionally we feel like it's more like 50%.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you should always use a form of logic to govern your thinking. You shouldn't just comply with something just because somebody's telling you a good story. Facts tell, stories sell.
Right. And you got to realize that
we've been sold a story.
Right. Very true, man. So I appreciate you calling and sharing your thoughts, man, and keep the fight up, keep the fight alive, man. That's all you can do. Stay prayed up. Appreciate you, man. Yep. Yeah, that's something to really consider, man. Like I think the fact we're not allowed to question anything, but yet we can't just for ourselves use just common sense, man. Like just question is like we skipped flu season. Like, come on now. And then of course they're saying the only way to get back to normal is that we go through a process that is already, it's a global process, mass distancing, and then putting something in your body that is unproven to the T. Yeah, once again, man, I mean, I hope, and my job from this point on is going to be to encourage as many people as I can to question everyone, believe no one, make them prove it to you. And that's another thing. When it comes to the long-term side effects of putting this technology in your body, nobody seems to really care. They just think that it's going to be a fix. Come on now. Everything has consequences. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike. It's Bob from Illinois.
Bob from Illinois. How you doing, man? What's on your mind?
A few weeks ago, a girl called you and asked, any preachers that were kind of dealing with what's going on.
Okay.
I found a guy. I've been watching him actually for a couple of months now.
Mm-hmm.
So called Calvary Spokane. I'll grab a link for his YouTube channel.
Okay.
He does a daily devotional, Monday through Friday, and then there's a Sunday service, and it's all really good.
Okay.
It's all relative to, well, not necessarily this week because, Easter and that, but if you listen to his devotionals, it really applies what's going on biblically.
Okay. Calvary Spokane?
Yeah.
Okay, I got
Once
Pastor.
this is a video,
Okay.
then I'll put it in the comment section.
Okay, I got a Pastor Ken Ortiz.
Yeah.
Okay, bet I have his channel here. I'll subscribe myself, and then I will try to reach out to him and have a little back and forth. So yeah, that's something I definitely want to open up the channel to more subject matters outside of the monetary financial realm, just because we're at spiritual warfare clearly right now. So I'm definitely want to reach out to some spiritual leaders. So good stuff, man.
Yep.
All right. Appreciate you.
Take care.
Yep. You too. Yeah, man. Good stuff. I appreciate that. All right. Give me a call. I'll go a couple more minutes and get ready to dial back. It's always good to connect. Oh, let me see here. The creator. Whoa. Okay. So here's something interesting here from Jay. The creator of the PCR test was killed right before the hoax, and he said that they are not designed to diagnose any of the right. So I did see that. I didn't know he was killed, so I did not know that, Jay. Thanks for sharing that. But I have seen several We got anti-alcohol from Facebook says new threat, ambient particulate matter that they think particles from tire rubber. Brake metal cause hardening of arteries, premature birth, cancer, arteries can extend a mile either side of freeways. Okay, we got a new killer out there on the loose. I saw something today from the World Health Organization mentioning that it looks like, according to them, animals can carry different variants or something like that, and it seems like the CDC and the World Health Organization are just throwing out all types of nonsense these days, and people are running with it like it's science and like it's proven. But it is what it is. S400. Did you see the Lil Nas X video? They really pushed the devil worship and stuff. I started, but I was very disgusted within the first couple seconds. Did not watch it, but I did share in the Discord his new Nike shoe with supposedly some blood in the heels or something. Very disgusting, man. Hello, caller. Which name were you calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's low blood pressure. How's it going?
LBP, doing good, man. How you doing?
Good. Hey, I wanted to encourage everybody. If they're on the fence about buying a new house, buy it, man. The interest rates are low. They're just giving money away, Mike.
So I take the process for you is moving along smoothly, huh?
Everything's going good. Look, Mike, people right now, they say, I'm going to wait for the housing bubble to crash, housing bubble to crash. When the housing bubble crashes, Mike, you're not going to be able to buy because when hyperinflation hits, nobody's going to get their houses go for pennies.
Yeah.
You buy it now, then when the dollars get destroyed, you pay it back with 2-3 ounces of silver, whatever the hell you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
And let inflation eat the bank, not wait till after inflation hits.
Yeah.
Houses are going to go down in price, Mike.
Man, once again, other than just using history as prior guides, I think that there will be a crash, but of course, it won't be enough time in between for house prices to drop to extremely low levels. So I think they will probably continue to shoot up because there's going to be a credit market crisis coming pretty soon. There's going to be the credit market is going to seize up because of all this banking stuff happening now. And I think the biggest thing will be your ability to actually get a loan to purchase a house at whatever price. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be cash only, metal only, or however only. Because once again, the credit market, the way we've had it to this point, will not be the same come next year or two when banks will not be able to extend credit the way they have, man. So I can see your point.
You just hit the nail on the head, Mike. If housing does go down, you're going to ask cash buyers only.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need a loan now, say you have $500,000 house,
yeah,
and say you lose 50%, it goes down to $250.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't got the cash, then might as well get it now. Let the bank eat it now because you ain't going to be able to buy when the housing market crashes. Like you said, cash only. Nobody's got that.
Yeah. And I also think that the housing crisis will be so severe that a lot of people probably from a financial standpoint may not be able or wanting or willing to be able to actually keep up with their mortgage payments. So it's going to be a lot of houses that are literally will fall back onto the balance sheet of the banks to where they're going to have to renegotiate that severely if they plan on getting anything. Or like Federal Reserve currently is now, they're the biggest mortgage owners of all time. So the Federal Reserve will own everything at the end of all this anyway. They're going to come in and swoop up all the country and for pennies on a dollar and have their balance sheet will be full of mortgages like they are now. So yeah, cash will be king in the short term, but yet metals, of course, will be your anchor to hold you down. And of course, this cryptos are going to pump too, whether you want to admit it or not. The banks want Bitcoin to succeed. So you might be able to pay off your house with 0.1 of a Satoshi or something like that.
Oh, no, Mike, there's a Satoshi then. Oh, man, if it's going to be that good.
Oh, man, but we are in very interesting times, man. And like the caller mentioned before, the best thing you can do, man, enjoy the moment, take advantage of any opportunities you can. And it sounds like you're trying to move the LBP family into a bigger establishment, man. So enjoy it, man.
Man, honestly, Mike, the house is almost the same size. It just has a good view,
Yeah, what you off the.
But look, Mike.
Yeah.
Back to this cryptocurrency. Look, they talk about the CBDCs.
Yeah.
The government's not going to be able to do that, Mike, because they're not going to be able to pass B55, whatever the hell, the blockchain. Like, if the blockchain works like people say it does, how is the government going to hide $150 trillion that Dr. Skidmore figured out?
Oh,
how are they going to hide that?
The thing about this, they're denominating, they're reissuing a new style of legal tender, which means that they literally have a zero. They got a zero. They're starting off at zero right now. So when they say it's time to download your Treasury app, your Fed app on your phone for your third round of stimulus checks, that's all freshly created, new ledger balance, blockchain stuff that will probably be linked back to your old accounts. They'll probably say it's 1-for-1 with the Federal Reserve notes and Federal Reserve digits into the new, USDC, whatever crap. They're going to try to link it as best they can with a time limit on it. You got to spend it at this amount of time or you lose it. And of course, people are going to put those digits to use off their phone via Amazon, Walmart, or whatever else. So it's going to be, everybody has a cell phone. Everybody has a smartphone. And so everybody will get an app.
Mike, what about the defense budget, CBDC money? Like all the money that they pay, for defense and all that. That's going to be like they're going to open the book, and show everybody, that there's no close. I don't think they could do that.
I would never say never at this current moment, man. The stuff they're allowed to get away with. And of course, majority of the world has no clue as to what's going on behind the scenes. So why couldn't they? You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see, man. But I think that they've come this far over 100+ years of draining the system. We're on the last couple legs of this chair before it kicks over completely. I'd be surprised if they can get away with this for a little bit longer, man. Surprisingly or not. I don't want it to. I have not, man. I literally, I'm a big fan of tiny homes, man. Like, I have my eye on trying to actually build a tiny home sometime this summer just because it's mobile and I want to be able to hitch it on the back of the truck and be able to geographically relocate if I need to on the fly. So that's something that I'm interested in, man. But as far as an actual brick and mortar house, I'm straight, man.
All right, Mike.
Hey, man, good talking to you.
I get to Mike. Have a good one.
Be good. Yeah, man. Good stuff. Always good to hear from LBP, man. So, all right. Anybody, get ready to dial back, man. I appreciate everybody for hanging out with me and sharing your 2 cents in the chat. If you've enjoyed the back and forth, don't be afraid to hit that thumbs up button. Show your support for the channel. And we'll be back at it again tomorrow, Lord willing. And, of course, best thing you can do, stay prayed up and continue to let your voice be heard as long as you can while you're still able to do such. So be blessed, be safe. I will see you guys later. Peace.